Hello everybody. If you want to read all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 678. The Clever Fox's Feast. Intermediate. In the misty hills of the English countryside, where ancient oaks whispered secrets to the wind, lived a fox named Finn. Finn was no ordinary fox. His coat was a fiery red, like the sunset over the moors, and his eyes sparkled with mischief. But on this crisp autumn morning, Finn was not thinking of pranks or play. He was starving. It had been 3 days since Finn had last caught a decent meal. A harsh summer drought had dried up the streams, driving the rabbits underground and the birds far south. His belly growled like thunder in a storm, and his paws trembled as he prowled through the underbrush. "I can't go on like this," he muttered to himself, his voice a hoarse whisper. "I need food, real food, not just berries and roots." Desperation sharpened Finn's wits. He remembered tales from his grandfather about the farmer's henhouse down in the valley, a treasure trove of plump chickens guarded by a fierce dog and a high fence. It was risky, but hunger made heroes of fools. With the sun climbing higher, Finn set off, his tail low and his senses alert. As he slunk through the golden fields of wheat, Finn spotted a squirrel nibbling on acorns at the edge of the wood. "Ah, a potential ally," thought Finn. He approached slowly, his best charming smile on his muzzle. "Good day, friend Nutkin," he said politely. "You look well fed. Might you spare a morsel for a weary traveller?" The squirrel chattered nervously, clutching his acorn. "Weary? You look more like a thief in fox's clothing. What do you really want?" Finn sighed dramatically. "Truth be told, I'm famished. The drought has emptied my larder. If you help me reach the farmer's barn, I'll shell half of whatever I find. Imagine, chickens, eggs, perhaps even cheese." Nutkin's eyes widened at the mention of cheese. Squirrels, after all, dream of such delicacies. After a moment's hesitation, he agreed. "Very well, but no tricks, Fox. I'll distract the dog while you slip in." Together they crept towards the farm. The henhouse loomed ahead, its wooden walls weathered by rain, and the air was thick with the clucking of hens. The guard dog, a burly collie named Rufus, patrolled the yard, his bark echoing like a warning drum. "Ready?" whispered Nutkin. Finn nodded, heart pounding. The squirrel scampered up a nearby tree and began hurling acorns at Rufus, who chased the nuts in circles, barking furiously. Seizing the moment, Finn dashed to the fence. It was taller than he remembered, topped with sharp wire that glinted in the sunlight. "Oh no!" groaned Finn, his claws scraping uselessly against the wood. The wire was too high to leap, and Rufus was already tiring of the acorn game. Time was running out. Just then, a shadow flitted overhead, a magpie, sleek and black and white, perched on the fence. "Lost, little fox?" called the bird, tilting her head. Her name was Myra, and she was known for her sharp tongue and sharper eyes. Finn, ever quick, bowed low. "Wise Myra, I've climbed many trees in my time, but this fence defies me. If you could just peck at that wire for a moment, I'd be forever in your debt. A feast awaits inside, feathers for your nest and stories to tell your fledglings." Myra laughed, a harsh, rattling sound. "Stories? I collect shiny things, not tales. But a deal's a deal." With her strong beak, she tugged at the wire until it loosened just enough for Finn to squeeze through. "Go on, then, and don't forget your promise." Inside the henhouse, chaos reigned. Hens fluttered in panic as Finn pounced, his hunger turning him into a whirlwind of red fur. He snatched a fat hen by the neck, quick and merciful, and dragged it into the shadows. But one was not enough. His belly demanded more. Eggs rolled underfoot, and he cracked several into his mouth, their yolks rich and golden. Alas, the commotion alerted Rufus. The dog burst through the door, teeth bared. "Intruder!" he snarled. Finn froze, his prize in his jaws. But Nutkin, loyal to his word, dropped from the tree onto Rufus's back, tangling in his fur. Myra swooped down, pecking at the dog's ears, buying Finn precious seconds. With a mighty leap, Finn scrambled back through the gap, his stolen hen and a sack of eggs clutched tight. He bolted into the fields. Rufus's howls faded behind him. Nutkin and Myra followed, breathless and triumphant. Back in the safety of the woods, under the spreading branches of an old oak, Finn shared his bounty. He plucked feathers from Myra's nest, recounted the tale with exaggerated flair for Nutkin's amusement, and divided the eggs and meat equally. As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Finn finally ate his fill. His belly swelled contentedly, and warmth returned to his limbs. From that day on, Finn was no longer just a clever fox. He was a grateful one. He visited Nutkin often, trading acorns for companionship, and left shiny trinkets at Myra's perch. The henhouse raid became legend among the woodland creatures, a reminder that even in famine, friendship could turn hunger into feast. And so, with a full stomach and a lighter heart, Finn curled up in his den, dreaming of tomorrow's adventures. Vocabulary notes. Desperation, noun. A feeling of extreme hopelessness or urgency that pushes someone to take risks. Example. Desperation sharpened Finn's wits. Here it shows how hunger made Finn think more cleverly. Similar words. Urgency. A strong need to act quickly. Panic. Sudden fear that causes rash actions. Distress. Severe emotional or physical suffering. Ally, noun. A partner or friend who helps you, especially in a difficult situation. Example. A potential ally, thought Finn. Finn sees the squirrel as someone who could help him get food. Similar words. Partner. Someone who works with you toward a goal. Accomplice. A helper often in a secretive or risky plan. Supporter. Someone who backs you up or provides aid. Hesitation, noun. A pause or delay due to uncertainty or doubt before making a decision. Example. After a moment's hesitation, he agreed. The squirrel pauses briefly before deciding to help Finn. Similar words. Doubt. A feeling of not being sure. Reluctance. Unwillingness to do something. Pause. A short stop in action or speech. Commotion, noun. A noisy disturbance or state of confusion and excitement. Example. Inside the henhouse, chaos reigned. Wait, actually, alas, the commotion alerted Rufus. Here it refers to the noisy panic caused by Finn's entry. Similar words. Uproar, a loud outburst of protest or excitement. Turmoil, a state of great disturbance or confusion. Fuss, unnecessary excitement or worry over something small. Bounty, noun. A generous amount of something good like food or rewards, often shared after success. Example: Finn shared his bounty. This means he divided the stolen food fairly with his helpers. Similar words: treasure, valuable items or riches. Harvest, a plentiful gathering of crops or rewards. Reward, something given in return for effort or help. Story written by Grok 4 Fast AI. Image created by Grok 4 Fast AI. To read all the story's content in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. CC Music, drifting at 432 Hz, unicorn heads.
All right, let's dive in. Today we're looking at a really fascinating narrative. It's all about survival strategy, alliances, focused on this one fox, Finn.
Yeah, Finn was, well, he was really up against it. We're talking 3 days without a proper meal. There was a drought. Food was scarce.
And that hunger, the source material calls it desperation, it really pushed him, made him think differently.
It absolutely did. It sharpened Finn's wits, as they put it, made him look at this big risk.
The farmer's henhouse. High reward, yeah. Lots of food. But I mean, a high fence, sharp wire, and this guard dog, Rufus.
A fierce collie, yeah. So Finn's usual fox tricks, just not going to cut it. He knew he needed help.
And that's the interesting bit. He didn't, try to become a super fox who could jump the fence.
No, exactly. He immediately went for, well, basically strategic recruitment. He figured out his limitations pretty fast.
Okay, so first recruit. Nick and the squirrel. Now, a squirrel for a dangerous raid, that seems risky.
It does. It really does. But Finn played it perfectly. He didn't just ask for a favor. He targeted Nutkins. Well, his greed.
Ah, right. He promised spoils.
Half the spoils. And specifically mentioned cheese. That was the hook. Got Nutkin totally on board for the distraction part.
So it's about knowing your potential ally's specific motivation. Which brings us to the fence problem. The wire stopped him.
Yep. Claws were useless. So different problem, different specialists needed. He went to Mira the magpie.
And again, a tailored offer. Right? Not cheese for Mira.
No, definitely not. Finn knew what magpies like. He offered feathers for your nest and, crucially, shiny trinkets.
Perfect. And Mira had the right tool, that strong beak, to work on the wire.
Exactly. She loosened it just enough, created that gap they needed to get in and, importantly, get out again.
So the plan's in motion. Finn gets inside, starts making a racket. The source calls it a commotion.
And that noise, that panic, that was the signal. It brings Rufus running.
But right into the trap.
Right into the coordinated distraction. Nutkin jumps on him, tangles in his fur.
While Mira is swooping, pecking, creating chaos.
That bought Finn the time. Just those few seconds he needed to grab the bounty, the hen and eggs, and get back out through Mira's gap.
Incredible teamwork, really. And then back in the woods, the final piece.
Yeah, this is key. Finn didn't just take his prize and run, he shared it.
Divided that bounty equally, just like he promised.
Which the source notes made him seem grateful. But more than that, it cemented the alliance. Nutkin and Mira weren't just one-offs, they became real allies, reliable partners.
It really locks in that coalition for the future.
Definitely. It's about sustainable partnerships, even in the animal kingdom.
So, stepping back, the lesson here. It's not about Finn suddenly getting stronger or learning to climb.
Not at all. It's about accurately identifying what skills were needed, finding who already had those skills, and then, well, negotiating brilliantly to bring them on board, leveraging external assets.
It's efficient resource allocation under pressure.
Precisely. And that brings up a really interesting thought for you listening.
Yeah.
Well, when you're facing a really big challenge, something that seems insurmountable, is it always best to try and learn the new skill yourself? Spend that time and energy. Or is it sometimes smarter, maybe even faster, to find others who already have that specialized skill and figure out how to work together? Leverage their expertise. Something to think about.